You ready?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. There we go.
Grüezi miteinander. My name is Philippe Sigeron. I'm happy to be in Zurich now. And it's about languages. I thought about making an introduction, but I thought that someone else would do that much better than I would about languages. Here is what a great man said. If you talk to a man in a language he understands, that goes to his head. If you talk to him in a language that he speaks, it goes to his heart. That's Mandela. And our passion is about languages. And it's easy to go, for example, on Bahnhofstrasse and say, Grüezi, willst du mit mir ein bisschen Schweizerdeutsch üben? You want to practice Schweizerdeutsch with me to a nice girl in the street in Bahnhofstrasse? That does not work very well. So I thought it's great to learn Schweizerdeutsch or any other language, but how do you get to train? How do you get to practice? That's the issue. So what most of us do, we learn languages. We go to language schools and you learn face to face. You go to a Berlitz, you go to a Wall Street Institute, etc., and you learn in school. And that's what we do in Hong Kong too, with nice teachers and focusing on language practice. Not learning only, but practicing it. Now, that's great, you do that during the day, but what do you do once you are not at school? This means you might have one lesson per week. What do you do the rest of the time? Most students don't do much. How many of you learn language here?
At the moment.
At the moment, yeah. 1, 2, 3?
Not at the moment.
Not at the moment, okay. Alright, so that's 3, 4. How many of you speak 2 languages? Okay, nearly everybody. 3? 4?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. What? Alright, etc. But the problem is, most of the time, it's not about learning it. It's about practicing the language. So you might get a boyfriend, a girlfriend, but how do you do professionally? How do you get to train the language? Now, one thing you can do, and that was our issue, we learned quite a few languages in our team, but our problem was not to learn them, but to practice. So we created this language school in Hong Kong, Istanbul, and now hopefully Zurich and New York. And we said that on the go, when you are in the tram, when you are waiting at the bank, the bakery or whatever, you can practice language at that time. So mobile language practice is one of the extra things you need on top. So for example here, you have the possibility to read Chinese. Read articles made for you, at your level, with you topics, what you're interested in Chinese, sent to you. That's one app that we developed. Another one is, you're in the street in Zurich, Hong Kong, New York, and you want to meet someone next to you to practice. You have about 2 hours available. What if I could practice Schweizerdeutsch or Chinese or Russian or whatever language you're learning? So it's a social media where you can find people around you and you see who is available now to practice the language you want to learn, you want to practice. So this is what GC Chat is about. Just send a message to the person and say, hey, do you want to have coffee with me in about 15 minutes, and we're going to practice that language together. The system even helps you find topics for you to practice. He knows what you like because you set it to the system. He knows what you like, and it says, hey, you both like tennis. You all both live in Zurich, and you like skiing. Here are some topics for you that you could discuss, so you can start a discussion. And the last one, but not the least one, flashcards. So you're in the tram and you can practice your vocabulary as you go. And all the systems are connected so that when you are in the tram, at home, in the course, anytime, you can basically review your vocabulary and learn, practice that language. The third part of it is when you're really in your pajama. Now you're at home and you don't feel like going out, so you don't want to meet the people on the map again and say, hey, do you want to go and practice with me Schweizerdeutsch? You know, we're at home. So you're just in your pajamas at home and you say, but I would like to talk to someone. I would like to practice for only 15 minutes. You don't have an hour, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, maybe 2 hours, but from the comfort of your home. So here, you can connect, thanks to the computer, in a virtual world. That's me here. And here's one of our French teachers and some students here. So you can come in a virtual world and practice again. So you can speak, you can chat. For Chinese, for example, you would be able to chat in Chinese at 7 p.m. Hong Kong time, and you can talk to other people, and you know that that time, that's intermediate level. And you speak about food in a nice restaurant in Hong Kong. That's the topic for tonight. So you can practice it in the virtual world. And the next day, you can review the vocabulary in your flashcards. You can read articles about these restaurants. Everything organized by Global Citizen. So basically, here is the overall concept that we offer to our students. First, you have the face-to-face aspect. You come to our classrooms in Hong Kong, in Istanbul, in Zurich, in New York, Singapore and other cities. It's a physical human interaction. Second, you review the vocabulary, you read articles, etc. that you've learned in a classroom. You review these thanks to our apps. And you can meet people, etc. And third, you're at home and you want to practice again what you have learned in our classrooms or other classrooms, I mean competitors' classrooms if you want. You can then also, what you've practiced thanks to the mobile apps, all this you can practice again in a virtual world. Now the key for language is not about studying the language 3 hours on Monday evening after work. It doesn't work. The key is 15 minutes every day, and I guess 15 minutes every day, a little bit every day, and then you can make it. That's the key. Regularity. Better 15 minutes or even 10 minutes per day than 3 hours on Monday evening after work. So that's the concept for Global Citizen. Practice languages anytime, anywhere. And here is a typical week that you could have, for example, and that's what we propose to companies in Hong Kong and now here in Zurich. That's a week. We start with a Monday. You come for a face-to-face training. It can be at 4 p.m. in your company. It can be after the working hours. It can be lunchtime. Then the next day on Tuesday, you're in the tram. Use your iPhone to review the vocabulary. Here is Chinese vocabulary. Wednesday evening, it's after work or you had a home office afternoon, and here you decide to review Chinese for about half an hour. You log in and you talk to other people and practice what you have learned in previous lessons, or learn some more. These are real people around the table. On Thursday, you just say, okay, I'm sitting in a train going to a client or going home or whatever, and you can read an article in Chinese in this case, which is interesting for you, and you practice the reading aspect. On Friday you say, well, it's nearly the weekend, I would like to meet some nice people and practice a bit more languages, so you can use the app here, GC Chat, to meet some new people and practice languages with them. So basically that's the whole set for immersion, language immersion, for you to practice a language. Whether you are in New York, Moscow, Hong Kong, you can virtually immerse yourself in that linguistic environment that you want. You can't fly every day to Beijing to practice Chinese, it's a bit difficult and not good for the environment. But you can virtually fly there and simulate basically your whole environment thanks to those possibilities. So who uses that from us? That's mostly B2B. This is something we offer to companies. Doing training to companies, we customize this training for companies. And this is the overview of it, actually. I have 55 seconds left, but ahead of time. Okay.
Cool.
That's the end.